And here you hear it again. There's only one will. That is God's will. And that will is only for good. As we heard, it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. And furthermore, we've heard God never withholds. So that desire to feel good, to experience goodness that you feel in your heart every moment, that is God's will for you, and God never withholds it from you. Great principle, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's our lives, right? What we teach at Sides of Mind is if it seems like your will for greater good isn't being realized, it's not because God is withholding it, it's because we need to stretch our consciousness. We need to expand in consciousness to either move beyond a belief that it could never be so, or to be dictating to the universe that it has to look exactly like this and nothing else will do. So on that latter one, let me just share how this principle operated in my life. Years back when I first got promoted to the position of manager in a corporate environment, I was so honored. I was so excited. I was so scared. So I wanted to be successful, and success to me meant that I really felt my value, that I was contributing something that was meaningful to the company, and that they really valued it. And so, I did my work in consciousness. I did my gratitude prayer to be grateful for this wonderful opportunity that I had, and I did my prayer of intention to always be of value, to be of service in this environment. And because I kept doing the prayers, before I got that promotion, after I got the promotion, the universe responded, giving me these messages, many accolades around the idea that I seemed to be the guy that could bring out the best in people, that even those people that seemed to be struggling and might not work out in the job, somehow there was something that I had that I could be with them, work with them, and turn things around, and they could thrive in the workplace. And after becoming a manager, that expanded to being told that, wow, there are these departments that have always seemed to be problematic for us to interact with, but you seem to work things out. Things are in sync. I so knew that this desire to be of value and being of value in this way was that my will and God's will were in sync. God was speaking and my lips were moving in perfect synchronicity. Until Ed came along. Ed was this great guy. He was so enthusiastic. He wowed us all in his interviews. He was polished, he was smooth, until he got on the phones. See, I ran this customer service help desk in the brokerage banking industry, very conservative industry. And sometimes it would get very stressful. And under stress, this other Ed seemed to come out. An Ed that was argumentative and a little bit crass in his language. So I would hear things like, oh, come on, man. Oh, listen, guy. Okay, argumentative doesn't work under any circumstances in customer service, and guy and man do not work in the brokerage banking industry. So I saw that clearly I had some work to do. But you see, God and I were co-creating, and God's will and my will were one and the same. I knew it. I was going to transform Ed and help him to thrive in this business, and I was going to prove my worth to the company. Ed was my Eliza Doolittle, and I was Professor Higgins. So I began the coaching, and Ed was great. He went right along. He did great role-playing until he got back out on the phones. It got stressful, and again, oh, man, come on, guy. Seriously? I kept praying. I absolutely kept working with Ed, but the pattern just kept repeating itself. I tried putting him in another area where it was less stressful. It still came up. Through the verbal warning, through the written warning, through the final warning, where he seemed to really get it, until a few days later when I walked in, and not only did I hear, oh, come on, guy, but I heard, get a grip.